Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Robert Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. How are you today? Well, let's get right into it. Well, a couple of things are happening this week. We had a debacle with Elizabeth Warren lying on Bernie Sanders. How you know she lying? Why he can't be lying? She got a history of lying. That is Chief Liar-Lata. She liar-lata. So she got a history of lying, and the whole thing just don't add up, man. If it smell like a skunk, look like a skunk, you better run before he spray you, because that is a skunk over there. And the nerves of her to put her friendship on the line, and it's just too much going on. I mean, she's been spending time with Obama, spending time with Hillary Clinton. She won't attack Joe Biden for nothing in the world, but then she does this thing to Bernie Sanders, and hopefully they made some things up down in South Carolina. Hopefully Tulsi came in there and tried to bridge the gap. But the bottom line is, when it comes to me, I never was interested in Elizabeth Warren anyway. She could say she came up with a black agenda, and it could be a nice black agenda. It could have everything that my community want by bullet point. I ain't believing her, because she is a historical liar. The thing about her lies is just seems so innocent. It's not as harsh and horrible as Trump's, or harsh and horrible as Joe Biden. It's a little more grandmommy, teachery type of life. But anyway, let me get off this. What I want to talk about right now in this particular segment is New York Times. The New York Times endorsement. New York Times has a horrible history of endorsing losers. Oh yeah, they picked McCain and Clinton back in 2008. Barack Obama ended up kicking both of them behind. They just horrible. They picked Clinton in 2016. She got her behind spanked. So picking Elizabeth Warren and picking Amy Klobuchar, what is up with that? But we're going to get into that. Now, me personally, I think they picked her because with the rise of the women movement, with the rise of Me Too, and by them being a bunch of party hacks, they're trying to find the people who can bring the party together. They definitely weren't going. I'm going to show you the reason why they weren't going to pick Bernie Sanders. And that just wasn't happening. Number one, they don't like Bernie Sanders anyway. But I'm going to tell you what caused Bernie Sanders not to get picked for show. I mean, he probably had one or two people ready to vote for him, but after an incident with the New York Times, they were like, nah, this brother, no, he got too much going on with him. But let's take a look at Amy Klobuchar, or Cloud Boot Jar, and Elizabeth Warren, and their take on the election and their take on the presidency. Now, what happened is all these presidential candidates meet with New York Times as if, whoop-de-freaking-do. Who are you, New York Times? Your credibility is lost. That's one thing I agree with Trump on. Then again, his credibility is gone too. But I agree with him on that. So who wants to listen to you? Who cares about your endorsement? I really don't care about nobody endorsement. The Rock can endorse Bernie Sanders. I don't give a crap about nobody endorsing them. Them people ain't no better than me. The bottom line is, my community got needs, and I'm going to advocate for them if you're not. And if you want my vote, you need to start advocating for it. And that should be the same with everybody in that community. Now let's look into this and see what Elizabeth Warren got to say. Oh, boy.
I think the old left-right division, yeah, there's a lot of that. But I think there's a very different division in America. And that is an America that's working for a thinner and thinner slice at the top and not working for much of anyone else.
Is that enough to bridge, the systems, the ecosystems of misinformation and hyperpartisanship, things that are...
Yeah, and even more practically, is it enough to get anything passed in Mitch McConnell's Senate? Why don't talented people want to continue to work for?
Let me stop there. First of all, she said there's a divide in the left. First of all, your problem, lying Elizabeth Warren, Chief Liar-Lata, your problem is you think the Democratic Party is the left party. No, the Democratic Party is the centered party. They're not even centered left. They're more so centered right. They may got a few people, but most of the people that are lefties are outside the party. They would never make it in the Democratic Party. For an example, people who are real deal socialists. I'm not talking about democratic socialists. I'm talking about true, real deal, hardcore socialists, roles and all. They wouldn't be able to make it in the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party will crush a real deal, true socialist. Heck, the Democratic Party is trying to crush a democratic socialist, a FDR style. I mean, if FDR was running in the Democratic Party, they would be shaming him. And yeah, a lot of them did do that. And that's why he said, welcome to hatred and all that kind of stuff. They did do that. But imagine if he was in the party now, man. The centric Democrats and the Republican will team up to try to crush the Democratic Socialists. And that's what's going to happen with Bernie Sanders. The Republicans and the Democrats, the centric Democrats, which makes up about 60% of the Democratic Party, probably more than that. It's not half the Democratic Party because half the Democratic Party is not left-leaning. You know, most of Bernie Sanders supporters are going to come outside the party. It's not going to be in the party. And he need to wake up to that fact. Well, I guess he know that's why he trying to get him to sheepdog him into the party to vote for him again. So, you know, you're talking about the left is divided. You don't know the left divided because you're not on the left. Your party is not left. You got a leaning of centric and probably about 40% or less true leftists. And then this lady gonna talk about, what about the Mitch McConnell? The whole point of the 2020 election, young lady, is to remove the president, to remove some of the people out of the House, to remove some people in the Senate. And the strategy clear. If you're going to be fighting for working people, these are the people you need to vote into office. And the people who ain't doing nothing, that's been there, like Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and all them numbnuts, you need to get them out of office. So you can replace them with somebody that's going to be in a position where there's no more Mitch McConnell or Mitch McConnell-led Congress. But that's a talking point. That's a talking point that that's the talking point that Democrats make. Medicare for all is not going to work, man. 45 states are going to reject it. Majority of Americans in the United States, Republican, Democrat, favor a no-cost medical plan at the point of service. That you just take it out a little bit out of my taxes, and if you can show me how my investment will bring me more gain, I'm all in, baby. But don't just tell me that you want it. Explain to me how you're going to get it. I don't just want to hear you say. I need to see how you're going to get in and how you're going to implement this thing. Is it going to really come to pass? But who cares about, if nobody wants to support it, get them out of office. That's how I am about some of my own personal issue. You don't support my most desperate need because it's not y'all's. Y'all need to be out of office. I'm not voting for you. Anyway, let's keep going.
For you. But they do. I hope you meet the people outside in the hall. I may not be the leading candidate right now, but I have beaten like 19 people, including every governor. And so
now, hold on. She has beaten 19 people, including every governor. You only can run in your state, girl. Who are the 19 people you beat? You mean the 19 people that probably ran for the governor of your state? Were you a governor, Senator Amy Klobuchar? And who are these 19 people? You can't, I guess you could say if Bernie Sanders won the primary, he beat 26 people. Right? I guess so. But running in the primaries and running in general is not beating. I don't consider running in the primary a real victory. I believe that once you win the primary, you go on to win the general. That's the real victory. Because now you got 4 years in. Or 2.
In a presidential campaign, if you have a dysfunctional work environment. My campaign manager is the same one I've had for 14 years. My state director has been with me for 7 years. The acting chief of staff has been with me for 4 years and is on her 3rd baby.
Probably because you got something on all of them.
Those are the 2 candidates who the New York Times editorial board endorsed for the 2020 Democratic presidential race. 2 candidates. Joining us now, member of the New York Times editorial board, Mara Gay. Mara, thanks so much for being on. So 2 choices for the first time ever, reflecting a party divided?
Listen, the party is extremely divided, and this is really our way of narrowing that field.
All right, so this young lady, she represents the New York Times editorial board. I don't know if she's black, Hispanic, a little bit of both. You know, a little cute thing. Ah, that's sexist, Rob. No, she look cute. Might be brainless for doing this thing, you know. I mean, Miko's a beautiful white lady, you know. I mean, she's beautiful. Yeah. I don't eat no pork. Anyway, but for this editorial board to pick two people on the same side of the aisle, talking about Amy Klobuchar is the Democratic best choice for president. I mean, why they had to do this? Because this is gonna egg on people like Bill Maher and all that. What the freak has Amy Klobuchar done besides be a lockup person? Prosecutors don't make good presidents. What has she done? No, what it is with the rise of the women's movement, the pussy hat movement, you know, and the marches, and you know, you got the Me Too and you know, Me 3 and Me 4, and they're not gonna go with Joe for some reason. Joe got his own baggage. Bernie Sanders probably too old, had a heart attack. But that's not the reason why they didn't add Bernie Sanders to the ticket. How do they believe that these two women will be able to rally around the entire party? Number one, the party is not really divided. The party is not divided. A lot of people say the party is divided. No, majority of the people in the party are centrics. Half of the Democratic Party is not progressive. It is not left. Again, they're center right. You do your numbers, you watch the polling, and when it comes to different people that they talk to, they're going to tell you most of these people are centric Democrats. You're going to have to do a lot of changing in the Democratic Party. Number one, you got to remove Tom Perez. Number one, when Bernie Sanders, if he do make it for president, he's going to have to do a lot of getting people kicked out of office. He's going to have to do a lot of primarying to get more lefties in. And like I said, majority of the left is not in the party. So how can you say we're divided? Your party is not divided. Your party is overwhelmingly centrist. Centric is, that comes from the word like Afrocentric. So I'm so used. Most of the party is centrist. I give it about 30% of the party. 30% of the actual Democratic Party is lefty progressive. Just because you say you're progressive don't mean you're progressive. Progressive means you're progressing. You're advancing. You're becoming like most of the nations. Healthcare, you don't have to pay for it. You know, free at the cost of service. It comes out of your taxes. You don't have to, or education, community colleges, state colleges, no cost. If you want to go to Ivy League, you pay that out of your own pocket. Or you can get some help from the government to help pay for it. I mean, so let me keep going.
And also just pointing out to voters that there is more than one pathway forward here. I think that Senators Klobuchar and Warren, we believe, are the best standard bearers for those two paths, but also just kind of reimagine.
How are you going to have standard bearers when one is brutal to her staff and the other one is just lie till her teeth fall out? How do you expect these? You really, young lady, I mean, you ain't hypnotizing nobody with those eyes. Look, how in the world do you think these two women are capable of be a monster of a politician in Trump? When I say monster of a politician, I mean he's like Godzilla. He gonna walk over anything, including his own. He's gonna humiliate him, shame him. If he can come up with some dirt on him, he can do it. And by the way, coming up with dirt on your opponent is not illegal. That's what you do. How come all of a sudden in this election is something we don't do? They came up with the dirt on Trump, trying to get him to lose. They came up with the grab him by the pee. That's dirt on Trump. Somebody came up with that. That's dirt. So getting dirt on people is not illegal. So stop with this. Oh, you're trying to get dirt on your political point. That's what I'm supposed to do. By the way, Trump was not trying to get dirt on. He was actually trying to do his job. Why would I send money to Ukraine and they are allowing people to, when they're going to be doing criminal stuff? When they're not going to do right by our treaty or by whatever deal that we made. I'm not obligated to continue giving you money if you're violating our agreement. And I'm not talking about the agreement was to look up something on Joe Biden. The agreement, anyway, let me get off that. But by the way, this young lady, you don't know what you're talking about. These ladies are going to get pulverized by Trump. You ever see the hunky-tonk man on WWE take that guitar and whack you upside the head like Elias? That's what Trump is going to do to both of these ladies. Let me keep going.
Taking a step back and reimagining what electability really means and trying to broaden that vision. The amount of votes that Donald Trump won by in 2016 was extremely narrow. So there's more than one way to build a winning coalition, and this is a nod to that as well.
It's not about the amount of votes that Donald Trump got. It's also about where he got those votes. You really think that these two ladies are going to go and win the Midwest over Donald Trump? You really think that these two ladies is going to stump the yard and get the votes of Arkansas and get the votes of Missouri and get the folks of Kentucky and Kansas? And you really think that? Girl, you better wake up. And look, Mika look like she like, y'all dumb. And that's how I felt about the Working Family Party. Dumb. Now you got to understand that was foolish for her to say that. All you thinking about is we're endorsing these two women because they can bring the party together. The reason that your butt keep losing elections is because all you think about is getting the party together on point, on code, get them out to the polls. That is not enough. If you don't have something to reach outside of your party, your butt is going to lose. That is why 90% of blacks and 99% of black women pretty much get out and vote and you barely freaking win. Why? Because even though you got the meat of your party out there voting, it's still not enough. You got to go outside the party because there's a lot of blacks not in the Democratic Party. A lot of blacks not in the Republican Party. A lot of blacks like me fed up and don't care about either one of you. You want our vote, you're going to have to come get it. You can't count our numbers. You can't count us to be a part of your plan, and we refuse to let you do it. And some of us not going to go and join your party just to vote for somebody. We'll rather cross our finger that our guy win or our girl win, and then we'll vote for them in the general. That way you can't count on our vote for anything. You can't count on our dollars. You can't count on anything. And here this lady from the New York Times saying, we pick Amy Klobuchar and Warren because they got what it takes to bring the party together. I'm keep telling you, this is the language that will kill the Democrats' chance to win in 2020 in anything. Not just the president, but the House and the Senate. With this talk that we need somebody that's going to unite the party. No, you need somebody that's going to unite the country. You need somebody that's not only going to, I don't need to unite the entire party. I just need to unite half or maybe a little half of the party. Because if I can end up getting that nomination by reaching out to independents and Republican too, that's what Tulsi Gabbard is doing, and that's why she's still in this race, and a lot of them still fell off. Because they understand that in order to win the election, you're going to have to go outside your party. You're going to have to go do the crossover thing. Because the majority of Americans are not Democrat, and majority of Americans are not Republican, and they will never be. And if they do sign up, right now you got people in your party right now that's really independent. They only joined the party to get their person elected. They don't like you. They don't want to be a part of you, and they don't want you counting their numbers, and they don't want to give you no money, and they're not going to support the DCCC. They're not going to support the DNC. They're only going to support the person that they want to win office. Currently, right now, you got people that joined the Democratic Party for Tulsi, Democratic Party for Bernie Sanders again, and, you know, they're crossing over. You got some that was with Trump that decided to cross over to support these candidates again, because they wasn't going to support a centrist Democrat. So this lady don't know what she's talking about. She just did an argument. Like I say, they known to endorse losers anyway, and endorsements don't mean anything. But your reason for endorsement is stupid. It is stupid, stupid, stupid in my Randy Orton voice. Uniting your party will not win your election. Let me tell you something. The thing that will cause you to really blow out an election, if you open the primaries, stop closing them to try to control it, open it, and if you open the primaries, people like Tulsi Gabbard will get better polling numbers. If you open the primaries and you actually talk to the people outside your party as well as inside your party, you'll see who really got the lead. Bernie Sanders will be blowing them out about a mile. Tulsi Gabbard will be blowing them out about a mile. Joe Biden probably would get some independent support, but Amy Klobuchar? I keep thinking clam chowder. Amy Clam Chowder? Really? Chief Lialada? All right, so let's go to another video. Now, one of the reasons why the New York Times would never, ever endorse Bernie Sanders is because, number one, he's a self-proclaimed socialist. Now, we know he's a democratic socialist, but he holds on to that word, just socialist, and everybody is going to tag that word on him anyway, even though he may start saying, I'm a democratic socialist, I'm a FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt type of democrat socialist. In other words, I believe democracy should be used to boost our boost our society. Our democracy need to be used to boost our society, which made her white, black, rich or poor, you name it. Everybody should be able to benefit from our government. Yeah, even rich people. They just don't need to try to step on the back of poor people and middle income people to try to dominate. FDR was rich himself, filthy freaking rich, but he had a lot of progressive policies. Didn't do much for black people. Matter of fact, he told black people to hold off on their issues so I can get this new deal done. And once I get it done, I'm coming back to you. We did. He did not. So we hold FDR as if he was a shining hero, not for black people. Now, don't get me wrong, black people started getting more jobs and things like that. But when it came to segregation and prejudice on jobs, it was still at an all-time high. So Dr. King, hold up on that civil rights and equal rights stuff. Let me get this thing done over here. Not Dr. King, but he told people like what's his name? I can't even think of his name right now. I'm sorry. Booker T. Washington and the other guy told him to hold off, wait, chill. But it's this interview, because remember, the New York Times interviewed everybody to hear from them. I guess they were saying we need all the presidents to come and talk to us because we're going to endorse one of them. So they need our endorsement, which they don't. Who cares about you, New York Times? I would have been kissing your behind for endorsement. But yet, in this particular segment, the only two people I saw kissing behind, Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren. Bernie Sanders didn't kiss no behind. Matter of fact, Bernie Sanders was kind of you kiss my behindish. Watch this.
What about the fact that Trump has touched a chord in 40 to 44% of the people. What about that issue? It's like Trump is a symptom of a widespread problem.
Yes.
So, I mean, how do you address that?
What is the issue? How did Trump become president? Not everybody, but tens and tens of millions of Americans feel that the political establishment, Republican and Democrat, have failed them. Maybe the New York Times has failed them too.
That explains the appeal of racism.
Booyah. Hold on, let me go see if I can find a longer interview.
Yeah. People are, in many cases in this country, working longer hours for low wages. You are aware of the fact that in an unprecedented way, life expectancy is actually going down in America because of diseases of despair. People have lost hope, and they are drinking, they're doing drugs, they're committing suicide. And when that condition arises, whether it was the 1930s in Germany, then people are susceptible to the blame game, to say that it is the undocumented people in this country who are the cause of all of our problems. And if we just throw 10 million people out of the country, you're going to have a good job, and you're going to have good health care, and you have good education. That's all we got to do. So all over the world, Trump didn't invent demagoguery. It's an age-old weapon, and you take a minority, and you demonize that minority, and you blame that minority, and you take the despair and the anger and the frustration that people are feeling, and you say that's the cause of your problem.
One of the reasons why Trump got people on his side, it wasn't always about racism, because a lot of these people voted for Barack Obama. Again, let me tell you this. Here in New York, Trump did some good things for the black community. Trump invested a lot of money into a lot of social programming in New York, after school programming in New York through his Trump Foundation. One of the greatest outlets in Harlem is the Harlem Skating Rink, which Trump took his money and poured it into the Harlem Skating Rink in Central Park. So, and Trump has donated to both Democrats and Republicans. Trump has been best friends. Of course, white supremacy always like to surround themselves around a lot of black people. But his best friends have been, Al Sharpton. Of course, one of his best friends is Don King. He loved black celebrities. Love them, make them feel cool. Well, until now, he felt black celebrities turned their back on him. But I can tell you this: Trump has done more than some of these people in office right now. Now, don't take away from the fact, I believe Trump has huge racial tendencies. He's a racist to the core. He surrounds himself around racists, and then he surrounds himself around bootlicks, whether they're white or black. And even racist people have done something in the community to kind of keep people on the plantation and not try to stir up to try to get their own. But when we have people that's undercover racists and they pass racist policies and people find out about it, they tend to get fed up with that stuff. I mean, Trump didn't get that much black support, but he got more black support than most of these Republicans. But that was the black evangelical vote, or some black, conservative, black military, black diehard Christians. They supported Trump. A lot of reasons, because they don't like Clinton. A lot of them woke up to the fact what Clinton has done as First Lady, being the chief provocateur or the chief MC for all of Bill Clinton's policy. That she was the P.T. Barnum belly of the crime bill that put blacks in jail. Now blacks waking up to the fact of some of the things that the Democratic Party has done. Blacks are saying, look, I'm out. Now, going to the other party is not smarter, because they was bad before the Democrats became bad. Democrats were bad, then the Republicans became the bad group. Now the Democrats trying to take the crown again. It's back and forth for who's going to screw over who the most. And it's gotten to the point where who is the most crooked. And you can see that in the way the Democrat handle controlling who gets to run the party. And when Bernie Sanders was screwed out of the nomination, now we could debate whether he was a part of it or not. That's a different story. To me, I would have never. I'm just going to siphon some votes from you. I'm not joining your party after you stabbed me in the freaking back. I'm not going to do live to fight another day. If Bernie Sanders would have ran for office, he would be president, and anything is showing to prove that. Because he had most of the independent votes and some Republican votes, and at least half the Democratic votes were willing to go his way. So you can't tell me he wouldn't have been he couldn't have made president. He built the structure at the moment to go all the way, and he didn't. And a lot of people was not going that way. Bernie Sanders could have did 1 million campaign events for Hillary Clinton, and when they got done, she still would have lost because she didn't know how to campaign. Even though she got more votes, she didn't understand it's a game of chess. You got to win in certain areas. And she didn't know how to campaign. She probably didn't even want to listen to her husband who knows how to campaign. Probably told him, shut up. I got this. Shut your mouth, Bill. Oh, okay, Hillary. Oh, shut up. Shut your mouth. You the one that advised Trump to run, and now he's about to beat my behind. It's your fault. Shut up. So nobody was buying into that. Nobody was, 13 million people left the party, and you think all 13 came back? So here we are. We got this lady saying Amy Klobuchar will bring the party together. They may bring the party together and still lose the freaking election. I guarantee you they will. If they're able to do it, which they won't, they're still going to lose the election, and Trump's going to be president from 2020 to 2024. And then we might end up getting a public, they might win it all again, and then we are in a heap of trouble. Because they're going to be running legislation through. It's going to be revenge of the pen of the president. So Bernie is right in certain cases. But there's still a lot of things that Bernie Sanders don't know why people went toward Trump. People went toward Trump because you tucked your tail in and decided to go with Hillary Clinton. That's why people went through Trump. Don't always use, people struggling out there. We're struggling before Trump even announced. Struggling now. People, jobs and all that kind of stuff. No, but you are the reason why Trump is in office, because people came out there for a revolution, and you canceled the revolution and went with the pollution. The pollution solution. And here Trump talking about he gonna drain the swamp. He's the biggest swamp creature of them all. It's kind of funny. A snake trying to teach you how trying to teach you how to get venom out of somebody. So hearing this, the New York Times didn't like that. New York Times said, nah, Doc. Nah, this ain't gonna happen. We can't make this guy. No. But this is the one that really got them. Watch this.
Look, I don't tolerate bullshit terribly well. And I come from a different background than a lot of other people who run the country. I'm not good at backslapping. I'm not good at pleasantries. If you have your birthday, I'm not going to call you up to congratulate you so you love me and you write nice things about me. Look, I don't tolerate bullshit terribly well. And
Now, you want to talk about body language. Look at Bernie Sanders' body language. That's the body language of truth. And look at the body language of these panelists on this editorial board. And watch them squirm because they don't want to hear nothing. Trump would tell them the same thing. Trump won't sugarcoat nothing. And here's Bernie Sanders not sugarcoating nothing. And this is the very thing that caused them to say, ain't no way we're going to get it to Bernie. We would have said Bernie Elizabeth Warren, but nah, Bernie and Amy Klobuchar. Amy Klobuchar. Not Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar. All right.
come from a different background than a lot of other people who run the country. I'm not good at backslapping. I'm not good at pleasantries. If you have your birthday, I'm not going to call you up to congratulate you so you love me and you write nice things about me. That's not what I do. Never have. And I take that as a little bit of a criticism, self-criticism. I've been amazed at how many people respond to, happy birthday. Oh, Bernie, thanks so much for calling. It works. It's just not my style. I try to stay focused on the important issues facing working families in this country, and I fight for them.
So there you go. As you can see, this man, even though I don't agree with a lot of things he say, and I don't, more things I do than I don't. Some of his philosophies, I don't agree with him. More things I do than I don't. This man is clearly telling it like it is. Look, man, I'm that type of brother, man. I don't take no BS, man, and I'm not gonna get no BS, man. I like to get down to business. You're not gonna get pleasantries. So can't you understand what that man told? If he did have a discussion with Chief Liawatha, look, Trump gonna try to make a mockery. He gonna try to wipe the floor with you. I'm not saying you can't win, but the man gonna try to wipe the floor with you. Matter of fact, he trying you will literally become a toilet tissue. And he's gonna wipe his butt with you. So you better come with it. You really better come with it. If he had that talk with her and she assumed that he said she not gonna win, Bernie Sanders never said you couldn't win. He just saying, look, this guy ain't no joke. He is his own four-wheel truck and he will run you over. You got to be ready for that. Are you ready? I'm not questioning you whether you're ready or not. That's not up to me. Do you believe you're ready? I, Robert Bob TV Brown, will say she ain't ready. Klobuchar ain't ready. Heck, Biden may can run from the truck, but sooner or later that truck gonna run him over. Pete Buttigieg get run over. He'll get ran over and you hear, Bernie Sanders is the only one that can really go toe-to-toe with Trump when it comes to the issues, when it comes to the policies, and calling him out on his lies. You can't do that with Sanders because even though you may not agree with him, even though, like I said, I got some issues with Bernie Sanders. And I'm the one that started off with Bob TV. The name of this channel was Bernie or Bust TV. And I didn't know what to do with it after he caved into the Democratic Party and went with them. I realized my name was Bob, so that's how we got the name Bob TV. I'd rather have a person that's no nonsense in my face telling the freaking truth than a person that's going to lie and fabricate everything, and a person who's trying to convince me that they got these strengths when they don't have these strengths. Chief Liawatha will get pulverized by Donald Trump. Amy Klobuchar will not stand a chance. That's why I go back to this old saying it's not important just to beat Trump. We need somebody, when they do beat Trump, they're going to really go to work for the people. Really, really work to uplift people, especially my people. Yeah, I understand. All people have needs. You don't have the needs that my people do. My people was robbed of certain things, and they never been replaced. They were robbed of things that people coming into this country as immigrants, they get that plus more, and we don't get it. And we never got it. And we the one fought for a lot of these rights. And because of the civil rights, the immigration bill immigration rights came. But there wouldn't be that many immigrations here if it wasn't for blacks going out there fighting for civil rights first and opening the door for more immigrants to come in. So we could talk about this all day long. But the fact of the matter is, in this particular segment, New York Times has a history of endorsing losers. They done it again. How in the world do you think Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren gonna fight Trump and win? How? They can't. Trump will humiliate them on her lies alone. And he will make her look stupid. She's intimidated. She don't have the balls or the courage, or the golden eggs or the courage. Let me change that because she's a female. She don't have the ovaries of steel. Now, some people think she's cold and calculated. She stabbed her friend in the eye. Looked him in the eye and just stabbed him in the eye. That's the snake. As soon as you think I'm not going to bite you, I'm going to bite you behind. Don't trust me. Well, Trump is the biggest snake of them all, and he can't wait to sink his veins in her. Trump don't want to have nothing to do with Bernie Sanders. He's a little scared. It's New York versus New York. It's Brooklyn versus Queens. And just called Bernie a little old, he is very healthy and he's very decrepit. Don't let the stents in the heart fool you. It took him a long time. I've seen people get stents in the heart 45, 35, 25 years old. This man almost 80 years old and working the campaign trail nonstop. And this is one thing you will never catch me doing, and whether you like me or not, you can unsubscribe. If I have to go back to 100 subscribers to one, it doesn't matter. I didn't get in this for the numbers. I appreciate the numbers, but I'm going to always do what I can. It says up here where knowing the truth will make you free. And the truth of the matter is right now, even with the ADOS moving growing, it got to grow a little faster if you really going to stop Bernie Sanders. Because Bernie Sanders got a bunch of black people on his side. The numbers and the polls are lying to you. And if you want them to get on your crusade for reparations and for having a black agenda, you got to get out there on the grassroots and tell your story and sell it. Just like Bernie Sanders got his people on the ground floor marketing free college, no cost health care and all that. We got to be boots on the ground, and we can't get into these factions of, this people on YouTube and what they got to say, and these people on YouTube and what they got to say. Look, find a common ground and run on that. Every general in an army is not going to have the same strategies to win. There's a central command that hand out the strategies, but oftentimes on the field, that strategy got to get switched up. The bottom line is we have the key of taking over territory and taking flags. And we need to train up soldiers to help us do the same thing. As of this point, Bernie Sanders is leading in Hispanics. He got white women supporting him. He got white men supporting him. And he got a whole segment of black immigrants supporting him. And then he got some black ADOS supporting him. And the other bottom line is somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to win. At the end of the day, if we stay home and don't vote, and that I'm a big proponent of that. You don't give us what we want, I ain't voting for you. And that's your personal choice. It's personal. You have to make that decision. But at the end of the day, somebody's going to win that primary. If it's just by 5 votes, if it's 5 white votes, somebody gonna win that primary. And I know it will send a message to people and let them know, don't neglect the black vote. It will send a strong message. But at the end of the day, the one that you probably felt could have did more for your community, even though they didn't do it at that point, he may still win. He may lose. But somebody's going to win. I'm almost done. New York Times going to pick Amy Klobuchar and Senator Warren. All they caring about is uniting the Democrat, so-called divided party, and it's not divided. So-called divided left. Most of the left is not even in your freaking party. And don't understand that if you don't have any crossover appeal, you will lose the general election. And you better get some crossover appeal right now, because those who have the crossover appeal right now is one really going to win New Hampshire and really going to win Iowa. And any other non-primary states. Any other states that's an open primary. There's going to be a blowout. I predict. See, the first time when Bernie ran for office, the person who no name, he almost beat Hillary Clinton. Almost beat Hillary Clinton in Iowa. It came that close. Why? Open primaries. Independents and Republicans got a chance, or non-voters got a chance to vote for him, and did, and made Hillary Clinton nervous. The next one, he goes to New Hampshire and beat Hillary Clinton. Shockwaves. Then he started spanking her behind all over the country, especially in open primary states, and yet the delegates wanted to cheat for Hillary Clinton. He who have crossover appeal, it's not just he who can get the black vote, but he who has crossover appeal will win the general election. May not do it in the independent, but they got a greater chance of winning in the primaries if you do it right now. If you got crossover appeal, you got a great chance to win in the primaries. Well, you got a great chance. You got a great chance of a blowout in the open primary states. Closed primary states, it'll be a different story. You really gonna need the black vote in those closed primary states if you want to win. But truthfully speaking, if you're in the open primary states, you can get the black vote. But it's the independents that, if they get out there and vote in big numbers, man, they the one gonna carry it over, and a lot of them are black. A lot of them are Hispanics or Latinos. So I'm done with this. I think I went over, man. This is too long. This is almost an hour. I'm done with that, this whole thing. But yeah, New York Times lost their mind, and Bernie Sanders sealed his fate. They wasn't gonna let him. They wasn't gonna endorse him anyway. He's not gonna be on New York Times right now. They got Nancy Pelosi up there. Why, God, I don't know. But just by him telling it like a TI is, talking about, look, a lot of these people went to Trump because of what you did, and you're doing it now with these endorsements. A lot of people was former Obama voters. They decided to go over to Trump because the Democratic Party was rigging elections. But Bernie Sanders got to understand, a lot of them went over to Trump too because he decided to side in with Clinton, hoping that they was going to come, and it didn't work. Hillary Clinton was definitely hoping they followed the leader. Girl, Bernie Sanders ain't nobody Lord and Savior. Who is he to tell me who to follow? He can't even tell me who I want to get to vote for. Or just follow me while I follow her. I'm not following that criminal. If you want to follow that criminal, that crook, that lion, that cheater, go for it. But I'm not doing it. And a lot of people felt the same way. And because you didn't decide to do something extreme, do something out of the ordinary, and fight against corruption by fighting against two corrupt people and using that as your platform to win for the first time, an independent in a long time, winning the election, we got Trump. So Bernie is to blame too. But then the last thing is him saying, look, I'm a no BS guy. And them people didn't like that. They want somebody to kiss their behind. Bernie Sanders just basically let them know at the table, I'm not kissing nobody behind. Look, I don't even call people to say happy birthday. So if you want me to kiss your behind, it ain't happening. You either give me the endorsement or don't. Either way, kiss my behind. I'm Rob Brown with the Rob Report. I'll let you later. Peace.